All right, hey everybody. We are at the Designer Show on this beautiful Friday. We are in the heart of the Outer Banks, and Dan's on a walkabout, trying to get a good signal. So we'll talk to his video phone. Dan, are you there?
You guys hear me?
More or less.
Oh yeah, I can't walk too far. Hi everyone.
Hi everybody.
I'm just doing a little walking tour of the house while you guys talk. Let me switch my camera on. Oops. I'll turn it off if I hit the wrong button.
We still have mostly Renee.
By the way, Dan, we're live now. So.
I know you are.
Live, Dan. Okay.
Let's go like this. Here we go. Here we go. How's that?
But
That's pretty good.
Dan, your video doesn't work.
It's not working at all.
Renee,
Nope.
why is yours?
Maybe when I come in the house.
Come in the house. That would be fun.
I'm trying.
Hi everybody. So we are at the second annual Chief Summit in North Banks, North Carolina, and we're here with how many people are here? How many other designers are here?
There's about 30 designers.
Yeah.
30 designers.
45 of us together.
Yeah, so we've been here since Saturday. A lot of people came in on Sunday, and we've had classes pretty much every single day. It's been almost 24/7 Chief, and business classes, and we've been having a great time. I'm starving to death. There's no food. We are starving. We do need somebody to send food.
Oh my God, no.
Oh my gosh, that's so much further.
We have been eating like crazy. So this is an all-inclusive. It's an all-inclusive week of chief and business and design education, and it's a blast. We're having a great time. We're staying at a beautiful location on the North Banks. We've had 2 sunny days, which we're all excited about. It's a beautiful location. Most people have primary suite or have their own ensuite. Private bathrooms. It's a beautiful location. That's the kitchen. This is all of Dan's family who does all the food, and literally, you guys, food is all day long, all night long too. And that's beautiful Judy. Stop, Dan, turn around and look at beautiful Judy, which is Kevin's amazing partner. Dan, turn around, get Judy. You can't hear me. You didn't just miss Judy. Who is Kevin's partner. Anyway, that's welcome.
There's John. Hey, John.
Where's Judy, Dan? There she is. Judy, say hi. Hi, Judy. So now we're going downstairs. This is the lower level where the classes are and where Renee and his groupies hang out. Although they're not here. This is one of our classrooms. This place has 2 hot tubs, has a sauna, has a gym, 2 different gyms, has a few bars, all within this location. So it's a really great all-inclusive. When we say all-inclusive, we mean all-inclusive vacation or education opportunity. And here are all of our attendees.
Hello, attendees. They temporarily froze,
attendees.
But they are live and they do move.
And they're from all over the country. We have people from Boston area, Vermont, California, Portland, Oregon, that would be me, down in Florida, Texas, Virginia, North Carolina, in the Midwest, St. Louis. That's really close to you, right, Kevin?
What she's trying to...
Wisconsin, people are here from Wisconsin and Canada. So people are from all over the country, and if you're even considering it, talk to us because it's a lot of fun. Okay, what are our topics? What are we talking about today?
So as these things happen,
I thought you had that all figured out, Robin.
Well, I have a little thing I was going to talk about. It's just very little.
All right, everybody. I'm back at my computer. Just did a little quick walk-in had to do that cool introduction. It's like, which didn't work at all. So you gotta love it. Sometimes we're all technically challenged, technology challenged, whatever it is, but we're here to do our best, and we'll share a lot of information. Again, welcome to everybody in the room here. Welcome to everybody online. We only got a few people online, it looks like, but we take what we can get. So we're just going to do a little spin the wheel today. We've come up with a few topics we're going to talk about. Let me see if I have my list ready. All right, we'll do the best we can. And if you guys have questions that are online, if you guys in the room have questions that we can talk about, feel free to chime in and ask. We're here for everybody today. So we only got less than an hour together, so let's have at it. Let me pull up the wheel. You guys seeing my screen? I probably not, because I haven't shared my screen yet. So let me present my screen, and I'm going to window and this. This is going to work. We'll find out. All right, let's spin up the wheel. I just got 12 numbers on the screen, and we'll pick a topic, and we'll all kind of pick topics that we're going to talk about. So number 10. Isn't that fun? Stop sharing. I'm used to working with a lot of monitors, so bear with me while we do this. So who's number 12? Probably didn't have it on my list. Okay, grouping moldings. That's something we covered this morning, which was kind of cool. So I'm going to cover that. John, is your computer working okay?
If I share my screen, I think I'm going to crash.
Okay, so I'll do it.
With the internet, so.
Now you've been having trouble, so I will go ahead and share my screen, and we will. I'll run through that. So we're going to go to. What am I doing here? Present. I'm used to multiple screens. This is weird. Share screen. Entire screen. All right. So I'll get into Chief here and stacking moldings. How do you do that? So we were playing with some of this stuff this morning in the class, and Chief added a tool I didn't even realize was there. So when we were playing with cabinets, and let me open this cabinet. Come on. There it is. So we were doing some goofy stuff. Is this the one that I put that stack? This is not the one I put the stack molding on. Must have been the one over here. No, that was the one. I thought I did. Anyway, let's talk about that. So in Chief's library, you can have different moldings. So let's go to the library. And what happened to my browser? This isn't how I had it this morning. Something's different. Hang on. You know how it is when things change on your computer.
Mm-hmm.
And let me go to, it's all on. Sorry, guys.
Hey, Dan, I have something ready to go, and it's really short. Can I do that one first?
You need to show your screen?
I do.
Yeah, share your screen. Renee, can
I'm
you
going to
switch
share.
screens?
I got it right here. Share screen. Okay. Oh, hang on. There we go. Share. Okay, so I am going to go to my Chief file. Am I sharing my screen now? Are you seeing Chief?
No, they're seeing my screen. Hang on. I need to
No,
stop
that's
sharing.
Robin's screen. We're seeing your
We're seeing
screen. Now. We're
Robin's
not
screen. You
seeing
need
Chief.
to
Are you
bring
seeing my
Chief.
Chief?
No,
you
we're
seeing
seeing
Chief?
StreamYard.
StreamYard. We're
Okay,
seeing
I
StreamYard.
got it. Okay, let me do that real quickly. Stop sharing and go do that again. Share screen.
Good. We are on a good start. We're on a good start.
I know, you guys, sorry.
Here, I'll
Hey,
go.
Bob.
There we go. I got
You go
something.
first. There you go.
All right. So I got a complicated staircase here. Very complicated staircase. Let me zoom in on a couple elements of this staircase that you might take a look at. A few things happening here. One is I've got intermittent railing balusters here, right? We're looking at some custom railing balusters. How do we accomplish this? It's kind of understanding the tools that we have available to us within Chief. So the method here is I've actually got a staircase, but I have the railings turned off. the railings are turned off, and then I'm drawing in a railing. And if we look at the designation of this particular railing, if we get into the rail style panel, I've got follow stairs is checked. That means if we draw this over the top of a staircase, we know that this railing panel is going to follow stairs. The next part of this that might be interesting is I've got start and end post set to none. What that means is that I've got no newel post at the start and end of my run. So if we have start and end indicators turned on in our preferences, we can see here's the start and end of my run. We notice that there's no newel post. What's a newel post in this case? I'm actually designating what looks like a baluster as a newel post, okay? So I'm setting the spacing of this newel post based on the newel balusters spacing designation in the newels balusters panel, okay? Next part of this that
You've
might
got
be
that.
interesting. What's that?
That custom metal newel that you've got is a separate symbol that you brought in.
Yeah, it's a separate symbol. It's set as a millwork. I actually picked this up from 3D Warehouse, so I didn't need to model this. So that's on 3D
Okay.
Warehouse. The next thing that's interesting here is I'm not including the bottom rail, and I'm lowering the bottom -6 inches. What is this doing? It's making sure that my balusters are being pushed into my stair treads. So I did a -6 inches there so that the ballast is pushed into the stair treads. If I set this to 0 and just tab through, we're going to see that the balusters just raised up. They're not aligned with the newel posts, so they'd be sitting above the stair line. So I needed to set a negative value here. Next, in my newels balusters panel, I did the same thing for the bottom offset for my newel posts, -6 inches, okay? My spacing then becomes the parameter for the spacing in between these elements. So then how am I doing it so that I've got a newel post at the end? Well, I am just placing a millwork symbol. I grabbed a newel from my library, placed that newel post in the middle of this assembly. Let's take a look at what's interesting next about this.
It's not part of the railing then. It's just a
So then this
standalone.
is just an independent symbol. It's just sitting there by itself, okay?
So
Looks
it's not
great.
attached
Yeah.
to the railing.
It's not
It's not
attached to the
attached.
railing, right? It's placed arbitrarily. So
And you
the
wouldn't
next,
join those together. You wouldn't join them together and
there's
make a
no
block or
reason
anything like that?
to, you know,
Okay.
other than messing around with a little bit of plan display stuff, in which we could go over some other time. But the next thing that might be interesting is it looks like, and I didn't do this perfectly. I literally built this since the show started, so about, I don't know, 12 minutes to build this whole assembly. What we're seeing here is that I've got some overhangs, and I actually have a profile in my stair tread.
Nice.
You'll also
Nice.
notice that my trim board on the side of my staircase is a different color than my riser. So what is this? Well, if I open this up, it's actually just a cabinet. I pulled a wall elevation, I dropped a
I
cabinet.
was going to say that.
Of course it is.
Of course it's a
Just a
cabinet,
cabinet.
right?
Of course it's
Of
a
course
cabinet.
it's a cabinet. So you can designate that your left, right, and back sides are set to none, but
Mhm.
the only problem with that is if we want a molding profile that wraps the countertop edge on all sides, we can't set it to none. Instead, we would set it to a custom face, but we would delete all of the face items. So I'm in the front sides back panel of my cabinet. I'm on the back side. I've got a custom face as a designation, and then I've deleted all of the elements here. And that ensures that the molding itself wraps on the side of the countertop. This is a cabinet, mind you. So we're looking at a countertop with a molding applied to it. And then in the front side, so if I change my side to the front here, in my vertical layout parent, I've got two panels here. And I can utilize the swappable capabilities of the library to throw this in. Now I duplicated this in a wall elevation view to match the number of stairs, and I made some alignment adjustments. But the next thing is in the stairs itself, I turned the runner on. So that created the carpet top. So if I had my cabinets aligned perfectly, we can see that the runner is actually showing right on top of my top tread here.
Did you
What's
have to
the runner
place
made of?
did you have to place each one of those stairs independently? You
I
did
had to
copy
place each
and
cabinet. So all I did was come into an elevation view like this. I selected the cabinet, and then I did select next side, which is a new tool in X15, right? So I was able to click select next side till I got my bounding box designation here. And from here, I did a multiple copy. I set a multiple copy interval, and I counted the number of treads I needed and made sure that I aligned it as I dragged it up diagonally.
Got it.
So I got
And
one
then
more
you drag-
trick here.
Okay.
So I've got something here that looks like a cabinet that's underneath the staircase. In fact, this is just a window. How did we get this? Well, I open up the stairs.
Couldn't get that
I want to note that the rise angle in the general panel. So here's the general panel. We're on the rise angle. It's at 30.43 is the rise angle. So I need to remember this number, 30.43. I went to another plan. I set my two side walls to gable end walls. Right now I can set it to hip. Now I can set it to gable. And then I got into my build, auto build roof settings. I made sure to check pitch in degrees. So in the roof panel here at the top, and then down in the specifications section, pitch in degrees, that's where I typed in that rise angle from the staircase. Now I know my roof rise is the same as my staircase rise. So I put in a fixed window into a wall that's below that gable end. And in the shape panel, all I did was click match roof. Now I've generated a window that is the same top shape as my staircase. All I had to do then is copy paste it back into the scene. And you know what? I don't need to see that it's operable. This is good enough. I can show that I've got some kind of recessed panel, and we can obviously edit the sash profile, the casing profile, the frame, recessed, etc., to be able to accomplish this. The last detail here.
You could have done that with
The
a wall
last-
niche too, could you? You could have done that with a
Yes,
wall
could have
niche.
done that with a wall niche, but the match roof property is not there. So
Oh,
we can't
yeah,
get an angle.
okay, that makes sense too.
So now we've got
Yeah.
a wall underneath here. Keep in mind, we've got a railing that follows the stair. So how do we put a wall in the same plane as the railing that follows the stair? Well, we needed to open up this wall and designate it as no room definition so that it doesn't try to fight the same space and take over the railing that we had placed to follow the stairs. Easy.
It is easy.
Sure,
I
it
agree with
does
you that-
demonstrate.
I love
It-
how
it-
I love how Renee makes it look so easy. It's
Yeah, well,
just so easy.
Renee's really good at pushing the bounds of chief architect. And it's not even the bounds. He's demonstrating the flexibility in the things you can do with this 3D CAD program. I mean,
Let's call it the power of the program, right?
if we get away from the idea that this is a program used to just draw houses, kind of stifles our creativity. If we get into the idea that this is a 3D CAD program that has all this functionality and these different tools interact with each other in different ways,
Yeah.
you can do stuff like this. So
I want
it's
to
pretty
show
cool.
one more thing before I hand it
Yeah.
over to you guys. Well, since I made all these treads out of cabinet tools, we do have the ability to, one, convert the molding, but also generate a custom countertop from this. What can we do with a custom countertop? Well, I can add a break in here and I can shape this. Now this tread, I can shape this molding profile essentially in a certain way. So if I remove
Yeah.
the tread from the staircase itself, I might be able to shape this tread around the newel in a specific way where I need to do some kind of unique profile.
Wow.
Nice
Wow.
job.
All
Could
right.
you have added the newel to, oh, you did. The railing itself is a regular railing.
Railing itself
just
is a
a
regular
spindle.
railing where the spindles are the newels.
Right. And it's just the steps that are made out of other alternative
Yeah.
options.
And the staircase still exists there. So it's overlaid on top of the staircase. So we're getting all
It
the
is,
other
okay.
properties like the underside of this staircase.
Okay.
Amazing.
So it is there.
And
Very
to get
cool.
your newels in the right place, you would just do that as a multiple of a stair tread. If your tread's 11, you'd set up 33 inches for your newel spacing, so they all fall in the same spot on the tread.
Exactly. Yeah, you got it.
Yep.
I wasn't careful with this. I built it too quick, but yeah, exactly.
And I know you were building that quickly, but you can, although you can't match the roof in the wall niche tool, you can set the left side, right side, so you can create the angle, 9 inches on the left, 27 inches on the right, and get that same shape. Using then the casing, you can wrap that opening on the face of the wall.
And I'll show one more trick since I've got this all built out.
It's looking like our Facebook user who's sitting in the classroom down there wants to see more of this kind of stuff.
Okay, all right, that's super cool. I'm going to pull that railing back on the one side. I'm also going to use the brake tool out of our edit toolbar. This is my edit toolbar floating in the middle of the screen. So I'm going to use the brake tool. That's this guy right here. I'm going to add a brake to my staircase. I'm also going to do a complete brake in this case. Okay, so I'm going to do a complete brake on the stairs. That makes it so I've got independent sections. So if I shift click, this is now editing just the top section. Keep in mind, I have to shift click. I needed to do a complete brake on the stairs and then shift click my top section. So that when I open this, we're noticing we're only seeing one section number. What's that?
Control click does the same thing.
Control click will do
So
the same thing. So something I could do here, if I had a wall up above that's capturing a sidewall from this staircase, I could go into stringers. I could set 2 closed side stringers. Once I designate that, I could go to custom stringers. It retains that I have 2 closed side stringers. And then I could set the thickness of these stringers to kind of fake a wall assembly coming up from the stairs itself. So I'm going to say 4.5 inches on either side. I'm going to say height above. Let's just say it's 70 inches because it's going to go ahead and dive into the ceiling at this point. And then I don't want a large stringer base, and I want to extend the stringer top. In this way, when we take a look at 3D, we're going to see that this pushes all the way up. The only thing now is I'm going to have to remove those cabinets that I used to create those custom little features here. But I'm essentially creating a wall up from the bottom of the stringer base. It's kind of faking that effect.
That works.
You just need to make those cabinets narrower, right? You don't have to remove them.
Make those cabinets narrower, but we could also come into stringers, and we do have the ability to set an offset. So I could say -2 inches in this case, and on the right side stringer, I could say +2 value, and then maybe I'm no longer capturing those sides. There we go.
Good. Yeah, that looks good. Well done.
Nice.
I like it.
Nice.
Cool. Now let me have the screen for a second. And all right, so back just on. Let me back up to the stairways for a second that you were talking about. I just want to clarify something for everybody. So what Renee was talking about in breaking the stairway, again, we have the brake tool to break things. It's your number 3 key. So wherever you click, you're going to add a brake at that point. We're essentially, since stairs have that line going down the middle of it, and the stairs are extruded out from that line, we're breaking that line. So we're going to click on that. I'll just hit retain depth. So now, like what Renee was saying, we have two different sections. If you do the control or shift select, no, maybe it is just shift select. Oh, well, come on, not getting it. Okay, not working. What I wanted to show was that I can now, okay, I didn't do the complete break. That's why it's not working. So there we go. A little troubleshooting right there. Let me undo that. Let me get back to where I was. Okay, so we have one stair. I want to break it. We have to go to this icon right here, the complete break. Don't forget to click that. If you don't do that, nothing will happen that allows you to modify the stairs. Okay, so when I do that, now I do have separate stairs. When I hold my control or shift key down, I can select just that one. And now I can pull that other stair apart. So that allows you to stretch different parts of the stair independently. So now I could die this railing right here. This railing could die into a wall that comes up to that point. That makes it really easy to do that. If you're just doing a break, if you just do a single break and you're not doing the complete break, I'm not doing the complete break. You can do things to your stairs like bend the bottom part if you want to. So I do number 3. So it's kind of like I'm putting a break in that line, and I can then with my route, oh, I have to unlock depth. Let me do that again. Okay, unlock depth. Now I can click on this bottom section with my right mouse button and just bend that bottom part of the line. So when you think about what I'm doing here, it's no different than if I drew a CAD line like this. I'm breaking that CAD line and I'm bending the bottom part of that line. Okay. So that's what we're doing. And so when we're breaking the line completely, does that have that? They have that tool for a CAD line? So if I break
Yeah,
it,
you have to
no, they
separate
don't.
it.
Yeah, well, is it separated? Oh yeah. So
It's
this is what we're kind of doing with a complete break tool. We need that extra step to do a stair, but for a line, you just pull on. For any polyline edge, you just pull on it and it does that break. All
nice.
right, nice job, Renee. Well done on that steps.
Nicely done.
Cool stuff. Is that part of your kitchen cabinet package? Should be. If you guys don't know, Renee is the master of disaster when it comes to making just about anything out of kitchen cabinets, fireplaces. Let's see,
windows.
what are the things? What are the kinds of things you
Kevin's
make out of kitchen?
made Kevin. He made Kevin. He
Yep.
made Kevin into a Pez dispenser last year.
All right, Renee, why don't you bring up some things that you made out of cabinets, and I'll demonstrate the molding profile thing I was talking about. All right, so when you go into your library browser, you can grab molding profiles and bring them into your plan. So if I go up to, I'll just go to the core catalog, architectural. Let's go to, where to go? Molding profiles. Okay, so any molding profile, which is any shape of something that can be made into a 3D object, you can bring it into your plan and we can combine those on the floor plan. We can also combine them once they're in the plan and used on things, but I'm just going to do it this way, where I'm going to go to, I'll go to crown moldings. Come on. Crown moldings, and I'm going to I'll grab a crown molding here. I'll grab this one, and then I'm going to grab another. Oh, you got to right click on it and hit place molding profile. So you right click and you hit place molding profile. And that allows you to place that in your floor plan or elevation. You can't do it in the 3D window. So I can
Dan, we're
now
not
grab
seeing
another one.
We're not seeing your dialog box, your library, to show where you're doing that.
Not really.
You have it on another
Interesting,
screen, don't
because
you?
let me stop sharing because I selected share program. Let me share the whole screen. Let me go present, share screen, entire screen, and I'm not. Now let me go into Chief. That'll probably take care of it. How about now? Can you see my dialogue now?
Yep. Now we can.
Yep.
Okay, good. Oh, I was doing it differently. Apparently this program doesn't share all the windows of the program. So now I could take and I could combine this with this and shift that down a little bit. Maybe I want to overlap that a little bit. Maybe I want to create a board down here that comes down on the wall a little bit. My tab key, minus 0.75. I'll go 3.5 inches tall. And that's my profile. Okay, so I'm going to take now and group select that. All right, so on your icon, if I select one of those, I could add it to the library as a molding profile and add it to anything in my plan as a molding profile. We were doing that this morning with we're creating a angled column. When I group select a bunch of items, you get another icon. I get this icon, which is called Add to Library as Stacked Molding. The cool thing about that, adding it as a stacked molding, is that now when I use it in my plan, each of those are independent. I could put different materials on each of those objects now. So this could be painted, this could be wood, this could be blue if you want it to be. So you have that option. So when I put that in my plan, it's going to put it in my user library, and then I can draw that in my plan. So I could go to my
Can you-
plan now.
Dan,
Go
would
ahead.
you re-show that icon of how to add it to the add stacked library? Because your mouse was over the top of it and we couldn't see it.
You bet. I will show that again in 1 second. So I'm just going to, because I just added that to my library now, it's going to be in my user library somewhere. Where'd it go?
You have it right there at the
Yeah,
bottom.
it's at the bottom. Can I draw with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Should be able
when I
to.
draw with that now, it's actually adding that molding. It doesn't
And
seem
you
like
could
I'm
apply it. You could apply it to a room or whatever, but you'd have to
Yeah,
set
you-
the height of it and everything.
Exactly.
Nice.
So this is where I drew it. So again, when you select it, you're going to look for this icon right here.
Can you zoom in on it? On that icon?
So it looks like that's,
Oh.
it'll be next to the books. So you'll
It
only
looks
get
like
that
it's
icon when
molded.
you've selected, you only get that icon when you select a couple of things.
Okay, so Dan, will you draw
Yeah.
a straight line? I'm gonna direct you. Draw a straight line using that molding. So I'm gonna do the little trick that Renee taught me today. Just make a straight line with that molding. Or
Straight
make a U
molding
shape.
line.
Make a U shape with that molding.
All right, hang on a
Just a-
second.
Just a
Yep, hold
three-sided
on.
molding. Okay.
I'm still trying to find where that molding went. I'm gonna add that to the library again. Where was it? Did you see it down there?
Well, it's in your preview.
But I can't click on it in my preview. I need to click on the darn thing myself. Hold on. Let me just do it again. Let me group select it. Let me make a molding profile. There it is. Okay.
Now wait
Now
a
I'm gonna
second.
draw
Wait
it.
a second. What you should do is before you do anything with it, Dan, right-click on it in your library. Right-click on it on your library. Go to Open Object, or actually go to your attributes. You want to go to your attributes. You want to label this. You want to put a label on there. Is there a place to put attributes on here, Dan?
There should be a rename here. Here
Just
it
want to
is.
rename
If I
it.
want to
It's right
rename,
there.
Yeah, rename it.
rename it. Yeah.
But then
You know,
you also need to be able to make sure that it's listed as a molding. So you want to make sure that it's listed as a molding, so that way you could search for it later. You could type in moldings, or you could type in stacked molding. See, and
Right.
that's where you should go to your tag, and you should type in stacked molding in your tags. That's a keyword. But type in stacked molding. And then and then I would also go to your tags and add a mold, you have to close out of that and right, but that's a keyword. So right click on that again and go to where it
Tag.
says tags and go down to
We're
add
gonna-
new,
wanna
manage
manage.
tags. Right. And I would write in stacked molding, and that way later on. So what I've been trying to share with people is that if you add something new to your user library, immediately organize it, put it in the right file, and immediately take a few minutes to add the attributes and the tags to it, so that way you can find it again later.
Right.
And you
Just
might
hit
want
that
to
plus
spend some
sign.
time.
Now, is that
Perfect.
part of it? Let's check tags. So I need to, there it is. It's
Give it
checked
a
in
sec.
already. So I could also select, add it to other tags as well.
Oh yeah,
So now
you
if
could
I
say
go up here,
moldings. You could, yeah.
so if I go up here and say stacked, should pick up that first word. It's going to get a bunch, but there's the one I just added.
Right.
Well, there's the other one too, because it named itself stack molding all by default, but you get the idea. So
Right.
yeah, think about that as you're adding things to your project to try to keep them organized. If you do
Okay,
the same
make
toilet,
U-shape.
toilet.
Make a U-shape. Make a U-shaped. Please make a U-shaped thing on your plan with a molding, because I want to show everybody how to do a return on your molding. It's super easy, and then you
I'm
can also
waiting.
save that
Bear
in your
with me.
library.
My computer is being fussy. Bear with me.
It's okay.
My new,
I can do it for you.
my new Alienware. Oh, I got it. It'll be here in a second. My new Alienware computer is being an alien. It's really not being mentioned. I I don't have a U shape here, but I do have a box, but I can make it a U shape just by clicking
Yeah,
that
delete the
line. And I can hit this icon right here to remove that bottom line. So I could click that, and now I can grab that bottom line and move it. So you can do that with any CAD polyline except as part of a roof or something like that. So keep
Okay,
that in mind.
so
All right,
where you have the line, the joining line, the one at the top, break
let me
it
raise it up.
just,
Let me raise it up. Hang
Okay.
on. Up with it, and I'm going to make it to the top, and I'm going to make it 0 inches. So it'll take it up to the ceiling. I actually took it down to the
okay.
floor. I need to make it 9 feet. Make it your ceiling height.
Right.
Whatever that might be. All right, so if that's so a lot of times you'll have a molding ending at a stairway opening or something like that. I know what you're talking about, right? I probably.
But what we want to do is do a return on it. So you need to clip
So
it,
yeah,
and then you
so
will return it.
we're gonna put that right against the wall. And you see where it's against the wall. I guess I have it too high. Oh, I'm in the wrong part of my plan. Yeah, that's fine. Let me lower it. Hang on. I got so much stuff going on here. Let's just go
There's
6.
another way you could have done it is you could have just done it with it on the floor, and then when you send it to your library, open it up and make sure that it reports to the ceiling, which instead of doing
Okay.
it this way, that would have been an easier way to do it, right? So we
Okay.
don't have to make sure of where you are.
So I want to zoom in on that. When I roll my mouse, see how fast it goes? I want to roll in by holding the control key down. That gives you a little bit more flexibility there. It doesn't roll in so fast.
Right.
All right, so I want to make that return into the wall. All you
But
have
not
to
there.
do is
At the break. Yeah, well, okay. See,
On
Renee showed
return it
me you break it and you delete it and then you return it.
why don't I just pull that part into the wall, and now I have a perfect return.
Okay, fine. There you go. It's another way to
I
do
don't
it.
know what,
Point is that we
What,
want to
Renee?
be able to,
The
we
point
yeah,
want
is
to
what?
get that end on there.
But the point was is that now the way we did it earlier is that then it can be saved with a new bounding box, not bounding box, but a new what is the word? What is the word where you can stretch it? You have a stretch plane, and that way then you can save it, and now you can put it anywhere, and you can stretch it over
you could
cabinetries.
apply it to a
do you want with
cabinet, as a cabinet door if you wanted to.
Right. Can you direct Dan to do it that way,
Do what now?
Renee? Direct
I'll show
Dan
the
to do it.
example. I'll throw it on my
Renee, have
screen.
at it. I'll let you
All right.
share. Go ahead.
Okay.
This was really cool. It was a fun
So we
thing
got-
to do.
We have new naming conventions in, I'll add it to the stage. We have new naming conventions for our moldings. They changed that at some point in X15. So our base molding is going to be BM as a prefix, whereas it used to be CA-00 something. Now our crown molding is going to be CM. So if I just type in CM02 in my library, that's going to actually help me locate where the
Is that
crown
something
molding
Chief has
facing.
done?
That's
Yeah.
Is that what
something
Chief
Chief
has
has
done?
done. Yep. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
then
Cool.
I can just right click and say show in folder, and now I'm in the crown moldings folder. So just a different
Nice.
way of getting into crown moldings. Whatever molding I have selected from my library will apply when I then go and choose a trim tool. So in the build menu underneath trim, and I want to go into a molding line in this case, when I choose molding line, whatever I have selected from my library will now be applied to this molding line. Okay, so the only thing I was doing here was understanding what the profile was here. In this case, I'm going into the moldings panel of the molding line. I'm seeing what the overall width is, which is 1 3/8 inches, so that when I do a little return here, I only want this return to come out 1 3/8 inches. So I pick up this continuation handle, I drag it down, I'm hitting tab or enter, and I'm typing in this with polar checked. It's going to pick up the direction angle I was dragging my mouse, and I can do that 1 3/8 inches. So the point was that we were going to create a mitered return that's flush with this assembly. The only way we can do this is if we change the orientation of the molding inside or outside of the polyline. So in the moldings panel, we need to make sure in this case, extrude inside polyline is unchecked. It's going to flip the orientation of the polyline. Now this is
So that way the
returning
molding
back
is on the outside. Previously, the molding would have been on the inside, which would have been fine for like a picture molding, like a molding for around a frame, like a piece of art or a mirror. But in this situation, we want it to be on the outside so it can go against the wall or a cabinet.
So I'm going to convert this molding to something like a cabinet door. For instance, we'll change this to a cabinet door. I'm going to make sure show advanced options is checked. This is important. I'm going to add it to the library.
You just clicked on the make symbol icon.
Convert to symbol, yeah. We're going to see that this is actually an inside mitered return on a crown molding. You can see that, right? And if we did our dimensions correctly, what I did instead was I saw what the molding profile was, and then I punched it in on my menu when I did the extend line. But actually, sometimes Chief is doing some rounding, so we don't actually necessarily know the true dimension unless we copy paste. So even though I saw that the molding profile was 1 3/8, it was actually inch point, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. If we had copied that dimension, we wouldn't have been picking up this little glitch here in the corner. It would have been a true miter. So I did pick up a little glitch just by punching it in instead of copy pasting. So from here, if I enable the view of my bounding box, we're going to see what Chief sees as the representation of this geometry. The bounding box in this case is this pink element here. When we create an object, whatever that bounding box is what Chief is going to dimension to. It's also how Chief is going to place an item. So in the case that I'm creating a cabinet door out of this, well, if we replace a cabinet doors section with this, this geometry is going to extend to the length of the bounding box. So what happens if I want this miter to actually overlay a face frame in the case that maybe this is an inset door? Well, I would need to get into the advanced sizing panel. This is all very advanced stuff, by the way. The 3D geometry dimensions represent the actual mesh here, what we can see as visible geometry. The object dimensions represent what Chief sees as the object. So really more accurately, this is the bounding box dimensions up here. So if I want to say that the size of the object, according to Chief, is smaller than the actual geometry of what we see, then I would need to uncheck under 3D geometry dimensions, update when object dimensions change. If I uncheck this, that automatically checks bounding box spacing. And then in this case, on the left-hand side, if I wanted to shrink this by 1 3/8, that actually changed the geometry, didn't it? Excuse me, I did the wrong side. Right side, -1 3/8. There we go. Now Chief sees the object size as this bounding box, but we can see the inside edge of this mitered corner will actually overlay. That means this mesh is not calculated when we add this to a front face of a cabinet. This miter would actually overlay the face frame of cabinet on an inset cabinet. That's all very complex. I imagine you might have to go re-watch that. So make sure you go to Dan's Chief Experts YouTube and you'll be able to re-watch this at another time.
But then what would you do with this? Where are you going to put this and how are you going to save it? Because
Well,
it's now a cabinet door.
now it's a cabinet door. So we could place a cabinet. Let me just pull a 3D camera real quick. I have to go figure out where that cabinet exists on this plan. Looks like it's right
There it
here.
is. It's outside.
And you're barely going to be able to see this. Let me switch to a standard view. Here's my cabinet door. Well, we didn't set up our stretch symbol, so this is going to be kind of weird, but you can see here that the geometry is overlapping the actual cabinet itself, and that's because of that bounding box spacing we added. So you can make some really unique things with cabinets.
Thanks.
See that? Okay, now I get it.
And
But
actually,
you could also apply this to the room. You could actually add that molding. Oh, you would not, because it's a cabinet. You would not be able to add that to a room, right?
yeah, this would be in the case that you need to have some kind of custom overlay, something like that.
Okay.
While I have you guys, I'll
In your
go on.
cabin?
I got another one here. Notice that if I copy paste this window and I move it, what's coming with it?
Well, you're
Yeah.
That's pretty nice, right? There's some instances where we'd be able to, you know, independently be able to place this. Saves a little bit of work. This is actually just a millwork symbol, and you might not know it, but in the Windows designations under treatments, we have the ability to place custom millwork over our casing or below our casing on the exterior side. So long as you have a millwork classification type of symbol, newel would be a millwork classification type of symbol, you can edit the Z offsets or Y offsets of that symbol to get it to automatically place on a window. You can do all kinds of crazy features over the top of windows. You could have some kind of decal way up here above your windows by default every time you place that window. You can all do that in the treatments panel of a window in exterior millwork above casing or below casing.
That's
Maybe
cool.
cutting
Yeah, that's
down
great.
on more.
Treatments, that's where you put your curtains and blinds and things like that. Can you add multiple treatments or is just one?
Yeah, you can, well, you can do an exterior millwork above casing. You can do one below casing. Keep in mind, you could change the Z offset of that millwork so that it looked like it was above the casing. You could
Yeah.
put in blinds, you could put in curtains, you can still add a lintel, which could be its own profile with all of its extension capabilities. And the nice thing about this is I can actually change the width of this independent of the window. So I can have it be on the sides of the casing in this case. And I can also change the overall height of this. And depending on
But
the
that's
stretch
all.
length, you could do some really tricky stuff with this.
Can you get that on the interior of the window? Can you do that on the interior?
You could if you flipped your millwork symbol around and did a Y offset. So
Okay.
it would still be
You'd have to
placed on the
negate it.
exterior.
Okay.
Technically, it's on the exterior, but it would show up on the interior.
Makes sense. Okay.
So you could set it up so that you got a curtain rod on the interior side automatically.
Very large curtain
Renee,
rod.
would your X and Y offset be determined by the wall that it's in? Like if you were around the corner there, would it be different, or is it just
Yeah,
same way
exactly. So you need
compared
to do
to?
this on a one-by-one basis. But what's really nice about this, here I've got this symbol in my library, corbel over window. I can always come here on the fly, open object, edit some of my offsets in my 3D panel. Let's just say I wanted the Z position offset to actually be negative 36 inches. And then once I hover over this element, this is one of those toggle replacement mode elements. You can see my cursor right now. That's that toggle replacement mode. Now this is going to drop down in that Z value that I just specified.
All right, we've got a few minutes left. I want to show one more thing. My turn. So much for spinning the wheel today. Right? That's okay. Kevin, you get the finish. You get the finishing statement, so you be ready to go. Okay. Let me switch to my screen, and I will present. I just want to show you a little tip we actually figured out as we were teaching here.
You got to present, Dan. Okay, you got it.
Yep, I got it. Okay, cool. So let me switch to Chief. So when you're working on your layout, let's go open up a blank layout. New layout. Yeah, you know, you're going to put 3D views on there. Maybe you want to put, you know, different views from the same room or something, or same, anywhere, any 3D view. We can send one view and we can make copies of that and place more of them. Let me show you how to do that as soon as my computer cooperates. Good frustration too. All right, so let me switch to a layout page. And so let me send this 3D view over to the layout. Okay, I'll just go, let me get a different camera and go into that room. And so I'm going to do some views of this lovely kitchen that I drew. All right, so I'll send that to the layout. Okay, I'll just go live view. All right, so there's that view. So I want to create some more views now. So I'm just going to copy this panel and I'm going to double click on this view and I'm going to click this icon right here. Click that icon right there. Not, I'm sorry, not that one, this one. make a copy. Make a copy of this camera. I'm making a copy. I'll call this, kitchen view 2 or whatever you want to call it. So name it right away because that'll show up in your project browser and you want to be able to know which camera it is. Okay, so I just
And that's
made a
what's-
copy
that's
of that.
one thing that's one thing that's nice about doing it that way because you have the opportunity without doing anything else to change the name right away.
Exactly. So now I'm going to go okay, and I'm going to close that. I'll say yes. So this view will not change because that's the old camera 1. This view, I have to, let's see, I have to replace that with the new camera. So I'm going
You have
to,
to just relink it. Relink it.
sorry, thank you. I had a mind blank there for a second. So I need to relink that now to the new camera. So relink it to camera kitchen view number 2. I didn't have to go drop a new camera, position it, save it, send it to layout. I just make a copy of the viewport on the layout, send a new one, hit that one, done. There's my new camera view. That should be a big time saver for you if you do a lot of 3D views on your layout pages. It was kind of fun. Oh, hey,
Nice.
look who's here. He's not halfway across the country. All right. We got 8 minutes left, Kevin. What can you impart? What kinds of words of wisdom can you impart upon us in the few minutes we have remaining?
Well, I think I just want to talk about a little bit about this event and the wondrous things that we're doing here, plus a little bit about the kinds of things that Renee does are fascinating, incredible, amazing, all of those things. And to watch him do his magic it's both exhilarating and terrifying because when you start to think about whether you will ever achieve the level that he is at, the answer is probably no. But the thing about it is that he is a resource for you. And if you look at the kinds of things that he's doing and are amazed by them and you can see an application for them, then he is a resource and he's available. And yes, it may cost you a few dollars, but if you don't plan on going to his level as a habit or as an occupation, then he's a great resource to be able to obtain things that you need customized that may take you the next year and a half to do. So keep him in mind. He's fantastic at that. Really, the thing that we're doing here as a group is an amazing event with great talent, not only attending, but also those of us that are here that are offering help. We're here to help you and we're available here or elsewhere. So if you've thought at all about advancing your skills, either in the fields that you're in, either in the field you're in or in the it's getting hard to talk. You guys all gathering out there in the outer. I don't know, but I feel compelled to join you. So, so if you find yourself thinking about how cool this could be to be with 30 like-minded individuals in a setting where you are nonstop learning from morning till night and then on into the night, think about joining us now or in the future. You can drop by this afternoon if you happen to be in the Outer Banks, and we'll have some fun with you. But in the meantime, we are here for you now and forever after. There's my beautiful wife. See her there? So we're available and we're kind of charming in person. So come join us.
I know.
Poor Kevin's got like a broken foot. He can't get here fast.
Kevin was already all the way upstairs.
I was on the
This
third
place-
floor, you guys. That's not really fair.
Yes. Hey.
Here we are together. You can tell. So
You gotta mute yourself.
Oh, here, I'll be.
thank you. Beautify yourself. All
Yeah, you're
right.
talking.
Okay. So take a look at this wonderful environment. Say hi, everybody. And this is the fun and games of the stuff at the Outer Banks. So we've kept these people quiet this entire time because it can be incredibly distracting for all of us. But we're going to free you now. Tell us what you think of this event. All right. Fun and games in North Carolina.
Have a great day, everybody.
Yep.
Join us next year.
Thanks for being with us today. Love you guys. Okay. Bye.